everyone, I'm Dr. Ashley Cumming from Murray State University, and I wanted to give you some quick tips to get you started on playing the best instrument out there, the French horn. All right, the first thing you need to know is how to hold this thing, and there are a few things to look out for. Now, first is your left hand. You want to make sure that your finger fits. There's a pinky hook at the very bottom for you, and you can stick your pinky in there. If you have small hands, some of them are actually adjust, so you can move them up and down so they fit better. We also have, for many of you, a thumb hook. And our thumb hook there might move and it might not. If it doesn't move, you have what's called a single horn. And if it does move, that's what we call a double horn. Now again, if you have small hands, they may be adjustable for you. So you can take a look and ask your band director. Your 3 fingers are going to go on the different valves, okay, on these keys. And they're going to help you change the notes. And that'll get you started on that. My French horn is a little bit different because I have an extra little spot to help hold my horn up. You probably don't have one of those, but don't worry too much about it. All right, now our right hand, we have to figure out what to do with. And there's a few different ways that you can hold this. And I'm going to show you 2 different ways. One more for beginners and one for someone who's a little bit more advanced. But the idea is the same with both. First of all, you're going to use your hand like you're almost swimming. It's slightly cupped, but your wrist in your hand is fairly straight, sort of like, hey mom, give me $5. Okay, keep your hand fairly straight. If you're small or just starting out, you may put your hand on the inside of the bell, just like that, where it's still fairly straight. But notice that my hand is pretty far in the bell there. If you're looking down, if you see where this brace is here, your hand is pretty much under there, okay? And that's going to help the horn get its characteristic sound. If your hand is out here or not in the bell, it's going to be harder to play, harder to hit the right notes, and harder to match with the others. So it's definitely worth doing. Okay, if you're a little bit taller or you want to sort of do it how the pros do it, you're going to take that same straight hand, but you're going to put it on the outside of the bell so your hand is holding the horn up. So the horn is actually resting right here on my hand, on my first finger and my thumb, and it's still pretty straight. And my arm is going to be pretty straight as well. If I took a straight line from the horn all the way to my hand out of the bell, you would see one long line, and that's to keep the sound from getting blocked. We need the sound to be able to escape. If our hand is like this or closed, you won't be able to hear the awesome sounds that we're making. So make sure that the sound can escape. Also notice my hand is still pretty far out inside the bell there. Okay, now finally, what do we do if we're standing or sitting? Now, the idea is the horn is going to be up to your lips about the same angle as your teeth are. So it's kind of coming at a bit of an angle, but not straight up like this. We don't want to push too hard on either of our lips, or else we're going to be hurting, especially if we have braces. So a little bit of an angle, and you can kind of tilt the horn this way so that it feels kind of comfortable because you want to be as symmetrical as possible. And you don't want anything to block the sound. So if we were standing up, my horn is kind of tucked at the side, by the side of my hip, and you can see the sound is still going to be able to escape. If I'm sitting down, we can sit down and play like that, which we call off the leg. So it's still tucked into the side of my hip. Or if you find that the horn is a little bit heavy or a little bit big, you can play what's called on the leg. So you can have your horn resting on your leg, just like that, as you're sitting and playing. Now the trick with this is that you want to make sure that you're not covering the sound at all. So make sure that your horn is turned in a way that all that great sound is coming out. So as we're playing, and I'll see if I can show you here, if the horn is like this, we won't be able to hear your great sound. So if the horn is a little bit more like that, so it can point out, then we'll be able to hear it. If it is too big for you, and the horn is much too big, then move the horn a little bit forward on your leg and you can lean forward to match it. And that will make it a little bit easier for you to play. If it's too low, you can also put your foot on a book or bump it up against your chair, and that will help raise your horn so that it's easier for you to get the right angle. So, rule of the day, make sure nothing is blocking that great sound. use what you need to sort of help your horn prop up and keep it at a nice angle that's fairly natural coming out of your lip. So you don't want that, you don't want that. Just a nice normal angle, and my body should be about as symmetrical as I can be playing a very asymmetrical instrument. Hope that helps.